3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Queen Stage. We're here to spotlight the athletes, stories, and action in women's cycling, giving the sport the attention it deserves. And we're going to do so with the quality, depth, and personality the sport demands.
I'm Rosael Torres-Davis.
I'm Betsy Welch. I'm Anna-Marije Rook.
And I'm Molly Hurford. Hello and welcome back to Queen Stage. I'm your host, Molly Hurford, and today I'm joined by Rosael Torres-Davis and Anna-Marije Rook, and we are breaking down stage 2 of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift, which ran from Aigle to Geneva.
Stage 2 was arguably more of a sprint stage, just like yesterday, even though it still boasted 1,800 meters of climbing, which is 100 meters more than the day yesterday. But a lot of climbing came early in the stage, and so it finished as we expected in another sprint. It was potentially a move for the yellow for the other teams, but not to give away the ending. It played out exactly as we expected it, with a sprint finish and a very likely winner.
Yes, but it still had us cheering a little bit for the breakaways, especially the last woman standing. But before we dive into our daily recap, we want to give a quick shout out to our amazing sponsors, Bike Tires Direct and SHRAM, because their investment in the sport is what really makes this show possible.
Absolutely, yeah. And this kind of direct investment in actual independent coverage, especially of women's cycling, which we know is so underserved, really helped elevate the entire cycling community. And speaking of community, oh my goodness, our WhatsApp group is like popping off. It is so cool seeing this many people just getting behind women's cycling, this race in particular. And of course, make sure that you're subscribed. Leave us a review or a rating for this podcast. Send us your questions. You can send them to info@queenstage.cc, hop in the WhatsApp group and ask them there, or find us at queenstage.cc on Instagram and Threads.
We are running a daily giveaway throughout this entire tour, giving away a Queen Stage podcast musette with a bunch of goodies brought to you by Zwift and Bike Tires Direct. We've got various cool items, including probably our favorite, which is a e-pump. If you're not using an electric pump already, get on it. They are life-changing, in my opinion, especially as someone who travels a lot. And just as coveted, there's this cap, I'm wearing it right now, which you can only get in person at the race or by winning one of these musettes.
And the musettes also have a bunch of really cool stickers by Zwift and Bike Tires Direct. I'm showing them here on the screen. They're super cute. Maybe I'll post about them later on Instagram. But yeah, lots of goodies in the bag.
Yeah, and yesterday's musette winner is at Basketball Diary, or Lenny. Thank you for following us and dropping us a like. Molly, can you share with our listeners today how they can win it? One of these musettes as well.
Absolutely. I should also add, those stickers are so good that I finally conceded to putting stickers onto my laptop because I got them and I was like, all right, it's time. So that's a big step, as any type A personality knows. But to potentially get in and win your own musette and stickers and all that fun stuff, super simple. Head over to our Instagram at queenstage.cc. Find today's Stage 2 highlight post and drop in the comments saying Bike Tires Direct and tag 2 friends. That's it.
Yeah, it's super easy, and we already had so many responses for yesterday's giveaway. Thank you to everybody who entered and participated, and you can participate again in today's and tomorrow's all the way through Sunday, August 9th. And don't forget that you also have a 10% discount code that you can use at biketiresdirect.com. It's Queen Stage all in one word, and it really helps support the show.
So much to cover in stage 2. We got to get into it. But first, I was not here yesterday. Rosael, can you quickly catch me up on what the heck I missed?
Absolutely. Stage 1 ended up being more attritional than we thought it would. And we did see a lot of abandons today on stage 2, even before the stage got started. But anyway, stage 1 was built as a sprinter stage, but it ended with a really punchy 2.6-kilometer uphill finish. Early in the race, we had a 4-rider breakaway with Maud Reinbeek, Idoa Eraso, Nicola Noskova, and Ocean Maye, who ended up winning the polka dot jersey after contesting like super feistily, if that's a word, the competition for the polka dot jersey and the Queen of the Mountain. We did see a bit of drama. There was a lot of stress in the bunch. We saw crashes and some riders had to abandon. We even saw Marlene Reuser. She had to somersault over her teammate Arleni Sierra on a descent, but she remounted and she finished in 10th place on the stage. So way to go, Marlene Reuser, way to recover that. And basically the breakaway was officially absorbed with 6 kilometers to go. And yes, that 2.6-kilometer climb immediately split the bunch into a really aggressive reduced group of about 30 riders. Then Kim Lecourt-Pienaar put in a heavy acceleration on the steepest pitch of the climb, but she couldn't quite snap the rubber band. Then we saw with 1.5 kilometers to go, Celia Jerry up of DJ, she launched a counterattack and she shred down the group to 9 riders. And that's when we started seeing stealth moves from Lorena Wiebes, who was still finding herself in good position and wasn't getting dropped, as I'm sure other people hope she would. And we saw Demi Vollering. Man, the GC riders in the first stage really bringing it already. Demi Vollering with 750 meters to go put in a really good attack. And she was followed by Lecourt and Lisa Borgini. They were the only ones who could stay with her. Then we saw Cedrine Carvalho was getting ready to launch her teammate Noemi Rueg, and Lorena Wiebes was attached to that move. So then with 400 meters to go, Carvalho started the lead out for Rueg. And basically Wiebes used that lead out to find a clean sprint to the line with just 200 meters away from the line and took the win from there, with Kim Lecourt getting second place and Demi Vollering getting third. Exciting.
Yeah. Awesome. No, it was such an exciting kickoff for sure. So should I get into what happened today?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so today, unfortunately, we missed about an hour or so of racing at the start before the coverage of it began.
So rude. Like I said to my alarm, mind you, I'm a new mom, so my sleep is precious, and I set my alarm and was just held on a hold for 45 minutes for the stage to actually start.
I'm confused because I thought we were just going to get 2 hours of coverage, but then yesterday we got almost a full stage. Because it started at 7:30 like Eastern over here, and I was surprised.
Yeah, so what I think I read is they showed the full stage 1 and they'll show the full stage 8 and 9, but the other ones it is just cut shorter and kind of randomly shorter, right? Because today it started at 9:45 but ran till like the finish at noon. So it was like over 2 hours. Not
in
really.
In a stage like today, though, it's a bummer because the climbing came early, and I was curious to see what was going to happen on that first climb, and we didn't get to see it, which obviously is the story I feel like constantly in women's cycling. It's like, well, we didn't get to see it, but luckily we didn't miss too much, right, Molly?
No, not a whole lot happened, although it was actually strange. Normally, it's actually very easy to kind of catch up on what was happening behind the scenes, but I didn't either. Not a lot happened, which could have been the case, or we're actually just not getting that many updates because like everyone's just waiting for the coverage to actually start. So a little weird. But yes, from what we know before the coverage actually started, it was very much just the peloton really controlling the pace. Anyone that tried to attack Allison Jackson, who tried to attack yesterday, they were just getting reabsorbed. The peloton was just like not messing around today until finally we did have a breakaway that stuck. But before the race, we should also add there were a surprising amount of DNSs and abandons during the race. We lost Brody Chapman out with an illness, Alopecia Premier Tech's Christina Schweinberger out with a broken wrist from a crash yesterday, Laura Tomasi, Unox Mobility, also injury from a crash. Alison Avlon from Ma Petite Entreprise finished outside the time limit, which is a bummer for that team who really animated the race yesterday.
Can I interject here and ask? So I saw my publication, actually, Cycling Weekly, ran a story about her missing the time cut on an opening stage, which doesn't happen very often in the men's or the women's, where riders miss out on the time cut on the very first stage of the tour. Do you think that given the weather conditions that they were riding in, there should have been more leniency given?
I'd be curious what happened to her. Like, did she get caught up in a couple of those crashes? Did she have like a major mechanical that took a while to deal with? I think there should have been more leniency. I agree. We also had we had 3 abandons from Lotto Intermarché. Do we think they've got like the same stomach bug that hit UAE during the Tour de France or something? Because like 3 in a day sort of suggests to me some kind of like team virus or something.
Yeah, no, that's a real bummer. No, I haven't seen any more details on that.
We talked about that a little bit yesterday too, that the chances of getting some sort of bug is high at this race because A, you're doing a lot of traveling, and B, people have been training so hard and their immune systems may be a little suppressed.
Honestly, I'm more amazed when riders finish these races healthy compared to when they get sick. Like, I cannot imagine what your immune system would be like. And the stress the riders are under, the conditions, just everything is really not in their favor. And it was a hot day today too. So I think if you were feeling at all under the weather, if you were having gut issues or something, like there were shots where you could see the heat coming off of the pavement.
Yeah.
Did not look fun.
Yeah. And we did see the Queen of the Mountain where Oceane May, am I saying her name correctly?
Oceane Maye.
Oceane Maye, that she was off the back for a long time at the beginning of the race because it has such a fast start. But she was able to recover a little bit and get back up there. But yeah, like also the heat, like if you didn't handle the heat very well yesterday, once those symptoms of heat exhaustion, heat stroke set in, it's very hard to reverse that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back to the race. We did see an early breakaway featuring a lot of these newer names, a lot of these smaller teams. We have Eline Jansen of VolkerWessels, Yuliia Biriukova of Laboral, Carlotta Cipressi, Human Powered Health, Emma Comte, Cofidis, and Anouska Koster, UnoX Mobility. They got a decent gap. It was up to 2:30, a little bit above that. They were working really, really well together, I have to say. I feel like even compared to yesterday's 4-person breakaway, this group really felt they were really just going super well, super strong together. But they were caught by the peloton with around 40 kilometers to go. Things started to spice up then, though, because Emma Comte kind of kept going, and then Riejanne Markus of Lidl-Trek suddenly was just shooting through the peloton out in front, caught Comte, dropped Comte, and then Riejanne was on a mission. She only ever got her gap up to a minute, but she held that minute. Oh my, her form was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. Like, put it on a poster, put it next to me on the trainer so I can always be looking at that and thinking that is the position you need to have while you're on the bike. Master class. Looked like she was on a TT bike, but wasn't. Was on her road bike. Just crushing it.
I mean, she is a 2-time national TT champion in the Netherlands, also a former national road race champion. Like, she is the perfect person to send out on a solo break like that.
Yes.
And she got rewarded for it at the end.
She did, and really put SD Worx on the hop, I would say. So basically, no other team was interested in chasing her down. They were very interested in making SD Worx do the work, and do the work they did. It started with my personal favorite name to say, Ninka Vinka, just crushing it on the front. Side note, her team picture, it's always really funny when they show the team at the bottom of the screen. Everyone else is doing just like really normal smiles, and hers is just like
amazing,
like huge. She's just so excited to be there, and I love her. She was doing amazing on the front, but just not making any time up on Markus. Oh my goodness. All of the SD Worx women got into it, including GC contender Anna van der Breggen. Like, that's how much they were trying to close this gap. They brought their GC person up and said, you got to do some work. Also, Lorena Wiebes would have her chance to sprint And
Yeah, it was interesting, right? Of that SD Worx, like all those riders are Dutch riders, and they've ridden with Riejanne Markus. They've been on a national team together. They know each other really well. And in the beginning, the peloton was very happy to just let her go, and then SD Worx was like, "No, actually, she's like a serious contender for this stage, and we want our sprinter to win the stage." So they got to the front, and everyone was very happy to just let them sit there. Like no other team was going to do the work because they have the yellow jersey, they have the green jersey. They're like, you go and burn some matches, and hopefully you're a little bit more tired tomorrow.
shoo. Yeah. So we really thought for a moment that Riejanne Markus was going to make it, but sadly she got caught with, what would you say, like 400 meters to go? Like
It was tight.
it was
Yeah.
tight. Like they actually, it was so tight they didn't have the meters on the side of the screen, like at the point when she got caught. So I couldn't tell exactly how far it was, but we're talking seconds, not minutes here. So close to the finish, she just gets swarmed. Um, Out of nowhere, Lorena Wiebes, who's been boxed in, manages to somehow just Tetris her way out of the peloton and just freelance her sprint. Her team, poor SD Worx, they are so tired from chasing down Riejanne Markus that they've got nothing left to give. She's on her own. She still manages to just go. No one can stay on her wheel. Thankfully, Lidl-Trek, despite not taking the win, still manages to put Elisa Balsamo in second. And let's admit it, one of our favorites,
Yes.
Marianne Vos in third. Yeah, just beautiful sprint finish. Great solo attack. This is the kind of stage you really love to see, in my opinion.
Molly, since we didn't have you yesterday, what were your thoughts on yesterday's finish and today? Because I guess these 2 days are the days for the sprinters, right?
I feel like yesterday there were so many nerves and just a lot of, it almost felt really chaotic and not necessarily in a bad way, but definitely not in a good way. Today felt a little bit more okay. There's like a plan. We're all following stuff. I think just yesterday when there was that crash like a kilometer from the finish, that always just kind of like puts a sour taste in my mouth for like the stage. Whereas today was super clean, and it seemed like everyone was finally kind of refigured out. Everyone had calmed down.
Yeah.
We're going. We're good.
This may be controversial, but I was more entertained yesterday than I was today in terms of what happened before the sprint finish.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, I did enjoy the last like 2 kilometers of yesterday's race because of the turns that there were in the climb. Well, that was very exciting. Because it was just like people just came, like we saw all of a sudden the curtains draw back, which means riders are dropping, and the GC riders appear in the center stage as they're climbing this super punchy climb. So that was really exciting because even though it was a short distance, it takes longer because it's a climb. So you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen now? Did this person go too early? So
It's still worth watching today's highlights, though, because I think on paper you're like, oh, sprint finish, Wiebes wins, duh. But like, it wasn't that easy. Like SD Worx had to put their entire team into action, and then, as you mentioned, she was left to find her own way at the end. Also, it looked really close, the sprint. In the initial angle, when they did the from above angle, you saw that she had quite the dominant lead, but like just reading the results don't do a stage like that justice either. So I will say, watch the highlights, see what happened. The Lidl-Trek team, man. Can we talk a little bit about strategy here? Because in my opinion, we haven't talked much about Lidl-Trek at all this year. I mean, we've talked about the absence of Lidl-Trek quite a bit.
Only in that we're saying, what are they doing? Where are they?
Yeah. And today, I will say from a strategic point of view, they executed it perfectly, with the exception that they weren't able to get the win at the end. Like, they weren't, like, in choosing Riejanne Markus to be in that solo break, they weren't just offering her up to set up Balsamo. They were playing 2 very strong options. 1, she doesn't get caught and you get the stage win. 2, she gets caught, as she did at the very end, and you have your ducks in a row and launch Balsamo. They got there sorted today with her getting second. They just weren't quite in place, like not quite to the front enough when the sprint really started. And that's just a bummer for Riejanne Markus. Like she did her job extremely well. She burned all her matches, and then the team wasn't able to repay her efforts, which is kind of a bummer.
So, and what would you like to see from Lidl-Trek in the rest of the tour? Like, if you could like be in the team car, what would you be telling them to do?
Well, I would imagine that they're going for stage wins.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed? Like,
Yep.
who would they have for the GC otherwise? So, yeah, I would like to see them get one. At least, try fighting, as they did today. And it was great. We talked about Lidl-Trek a lot. We saw them. They were constantly in the screen. And yesterday, too, they were pretty active. And personally, I was just really hoping for a Balsamo Wiebes, like, head-to-head. Like a pure head-to-head.
Something closer, yeah.
Something closer, yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I would like to see them hunt for some stage wins. Like, they've got such tremendous riders, such experience with like Lucinda Brandt in the team. So yeah, personally, I would like to see them keep trying for a stage win.
Ooh, okay, here's my question too. So they also have Bella Holmgren, and she's currently sitting like tied in the lead of the white jersey. She's tied with Paula Blasi. So is Antonia Niedermeyer from Canyon SRAM. Do we think that Bella could potentially beat Paula Blasi for the white jersey, or
Tough. It depends. Like today, actually, Paula Blasi did a fair bit of work for her team. Isabella Holmgren, we didn't see much of. So that could happen, right? That Paula has to burn too many matches to help Elisa Longoborghini, and therefore Isabella might have fresher legs. Also, we know that Isabella can climb extremely well. So I have not ruled her out for a mountaintop finish at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I do think Lidl-Trek might even have a chance in the team, like probably not winning it, but like I think they could finish top 3 in the team standings because they do have a lot of strong riders. They just don't have a great GC contender necessarily.
Would you go leave a tour happy though as that team? If you no.
I mean, especially not after the history that team has with riders like Lizzie Danen and Ellen Van Dyke and others.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it could just be a build. I hope that this year is just a build year and that 2027 sees Lidl-Trek come back as much more dominant.
Yeah,
I
also
mean,
the
they
level
seem to be developing, yeah.
Yeah, and the level just has risen so much that for a long while, yeah, they were the team to watch. But these days, there's like 3 or 4 teams to watch, actually.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about our other GC people? Did we notice anyone kind of like, I feel like yesterday, I felt like I was seeing a bit more like Demi Vollering launched that attack at the end. You saw Cassia kind of up near the front. Today, I would say I didn't really see the GC people that much. A little bit of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot PFP. But mainly really just like they're in support of Vos. Yeah, what are our thoughts, feelings now that we're a couple days in on any of our GC people?
I mean, that's what they're meant to do. We're not meant to see them.
It's good if we don't see them,
Yeah, and the only changes that we saw for the yellow jersey, so the top 3 is the same. So Lorena Wiebes stays in yellow, Kim Lecourt is 2nd, and Demi Vollering is 3rd, and then Noemi Ruig and Elisa Longoborghini and Cedrine Carbal move 1 to 3 spaces up in the GC. And let's see, Pauline lost a little bit of time, but nothing crazy.
Question: if you are Marlon Reuter, you lost a little bit of time. Would you not have wanted to maybe be in a break to remedy some of that? Get a few seconds back?
They're not going to let her go. I don't think so. It would be awesome if she tried because they would be like, maybe the teams wouldn't expect it. Like maybe tomorrow's stage, we'll see something like that. But I would think that would bring all of the teams and their domestiques to the front of the peloton to work.
I was really hoping to see more Marlon Reuter at the front, given she is a Swiss rider and is a great, GC contender. I was sort of hoping to see a little bit more of her. Yeah, towards the front here. But I guess maybe after that crash yesterday, she was just feeling a little bit more nervous, a little bit more like, okay, let's not do anything weird. Let's just keep our cool here. Also, I love the visual of her when you said her somersaulting over her teammate. This is really. It's like the thing that I'm picturing is not the thing that actually happened.
Yeah. No, maybe that was a little
off the bike.
Some color to it. But I do want to point out one thing, just a little highlight that I heard from the commentator is that this Tour de France has its first ever Mexican rider to compete in the race. Her name is Romina Hinojosa, and she races for Lotto Intermarché ladies team. So that's pretty cool.
Let's really hope she doesn't get hit with whatever the heck the other 3
her teammates have. Yeah.
I got a question, and we're skipping ahead slightly, but we can answer other questions from the WhatsApp chat later. But I got a question from someone who's watching and they're like, oh, Lorena Wiebes is in yellow. She won again. She retains the yellow jersey. What is the chance of her winning yellow? And I, off the bat, goes 0. There is no chance that she wins the yellow at the end. So this fan wanted to know, then why does SD Worx go for yellow early on? And just to answer that question, they're not going for yellow with Lorena. They're going for green. She happens to be in yellow and green at the moment, but she can't wear the green jersey because she has the yellow one. So the second place rider actually is wearing green. But at the end, the goal as a team is to make sure she wins the green jersey competition. Getting to have yellow is a nice way of protecting it in the meantime. Within the team, but they're hoping to pass that yellow jersey on to Anna van der Breggen.
And this is it kind of becomes a discussion of like how the stages were organized and designed and stuff, right? Because these first couple stages, and we'll talk more about upcoming stages too, but these first two were clearly going to be stages for the sprinters. So we sort of knew that a sprinter was going to be not a GC person, a sprinter was going to be in that yellow jersey early on. And I really do wish they would spread out the sprint stages a little bit more personally. I mean, it's nice seeing the jersey go different places in the beginning and not having like one GC person get like way ahead. So I don't think we should start with Font 2 or anything like that. But give me a sprint stage on, one of the later days.
Could be sprint. Stage 8 could still be a sprint.
Yeah, and when you say that these stages were made for sprinters in plural, I kind of want to say singular sprinter because the only real sprinter we're seeing at the front of these two stages is Lorena Wiebes.
I mean, Balsamo made it today.
Yeah, but would you call her a sprinter? Yeah, I guess we don't have to put anybody in boxes. Like even cyclists contain multitudes, like your percentage of, I'm like 15% sprinter, but maybe 80-something% rolly or puncher.
I don't know. I would definitely put a sprinter title on Balsamo. I think she would be happy
on Balsamo, yes.
Title.
But what about Boss?
Boss,
yeah.
Boss is a ruler. Yeah.
Ruler, right? Yeah.
Boss can do everything. She may not be able to win a GC anymore, but
anymore. Yes, that is true.
She races not harder but smarter.
Yeah, and back to the question that you brought up. Also, it's just like even though they're not competing for the yellow jersey in SD Worx with Lorena, it's also just really good for marketing just to have that photo with the yellow jersey. It's 100%. Historical. You get a plush lion toy, and it does really good things for your team.
100%. And, a nice financial bonus every day that you're in yellow as well.
Yep.
Yeah. That's, nothing to sneeze at.
Shall we wrap up today's stage with our What Tire won today, presented by Bike Tires Direct? It's the same as yesterday. It is the Specialized Cotton Tubeless Ready road tire in a 30 mil for nice grip and plushness at the same time.
Amazing.
Okay, this maybe is like a dumb question on my part, but do we know roughly what pressure roadies are running these days?
I actually was going to ask.
Because like back in my day, it was like, run it like at 100, like the highest PSI you possibly
Definitely
could.
Not. They're trying to get away with as little as possible. It really depends on how heavy the rider is and the terrain of that day. So these tires nowadays, the usually max is around 60 PSI. So definitely don't try to put 90 or 100 PSI in tubeless road tires anymore, please. Yeah, so I'm imagining that someone like Lorena won't be riding anything above 45. But
really, yeah.
This is where that electric pump would come in handy because that way you can see exactly how much air you're putting in your tires and not blow them up to 100 PSI. That is a bad idea. All right. Moving on, although I guess actually like just moving slightly higher up on the bike. We're talking about Lorena Wiebes' tires, but she's also today's rider deep dive. And Rook, before we started recording, you were hitting us with some facts. I was like, Lorena, we already know everything there is to know about her. She's really fast.
Thought we did. We thought we did.
But do we? Like we talked about Lorena Wiebes, fastest woman in a peloton, period. But who is Lorena Wiebes? See, like me, it's actually a St. Paddy's Day baby. So born on March 17th. Lots of green beer, if that is a thing that they have.
Green jersey, green beer.
That's right. No, so she is 27 years of age and has already amassed 133 wins in her career, which is quite impressive.
Wow.
7 of these are at the Tour as stage wins. And widely known as the fastest woman in the peloton. I was wondering how fast is fast, how strong is strong, and looked up some of her numbers. And so she sprints at about 1,250 watts. Now, these numbers are, estimates are not widely reported, but they're pretty educated guesses from people throughout the cycling world. So that's a lot of watts. It's about 400 watts per kilogram. For those who don't know, that's very strong. She's not just a road sprinter, she's also a track world champion. She won the Scratch in 2024 and the Scratch and Omnium in 2025 and a gravel world champion. So she can do it all. But before she started cycling, she actually competed in acrobatic gymnastics. Fun fact.
That's pretty cool.
And she credits this for developing her balance, her explosiveness, and her core strength that has made her such an elite sprinter.
Also probably really good at crashing. Like real good at that somersaulting over.
Yeah. And she doesn't just throw punches on the bike. She also enjoys kickboxing as her cross training.
Damn.
And a woman of many talents.
She has some of the bougiest nails in the peloton also.
That she does. Go look on Instagram. These nails are stunning. They, they look like they could do some damage as well. And they are beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
She works really, really hard. And she's also famously hard on herself. If she loses, she can spend an entire drive home in complete silence, replaying every decision she made in that stage. So she is a, type A woman to the core.
Yes.
And I think she is one of the more fascinating riders to watch. You know that when she comes to the line or close to the line, she's going to be the first one there. And we don't have enough like all and out sprint personalities or like the specialist in the peloton, in my opinion. You see that a lot more in the men's side where you don't know who's going to walk away with the green jersey at the end of the tour. I think historically women's cycling required riders to be good at all the things, like look at Marianne Vos. And it's as the sport has professionalized, it's been really interesting to see these pure specialists. And Lorena Wiebes is a pure sprinter.
That's a really good point. You're right. Like even like going back 3 or 4 years, you didn't really have as many like sprinters. You're right. You had like the rollers.
But no, I would like to call out. We had Kristen Wild, who was a pure sprinter, and she won a few stages.
There's Joke Teutenberg. Like we've had sprinters over the years, but they, you just don't have the depth yet, I feel like, in that discipline. Like we have plenty of pure climbers. But even then, like these the pure climbers are still also able to ride in breakaways really well. So like the sport is still developing to the point where you don't have the pure specialists, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, we just need more events that serve the pure sprinters, because when I said, now that we know so much more, that you can also train yourself to be better at this or that. So you look at the full calendar for the year and you're like, there's not that many opportunities for me as a sprinter. So let me train myself to be more of an all-arounder, like Lotte Kopecky and the type.
Yeah, that was so great in, was it 2023 and 2024? Charlotte Kohl and Lorena Wiebes were going head to head at every sprinting opportunity and throughout the season. And so that was a really cool battle. And we haven't really seen that in this last season or two. I'd like to get back to that and see just the explosiveness of these riders. It's so impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, as an aside, I think my new side hustle, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a degree in nail art, nail tech, like go back to that. And then I am going to join the Tour de France Femmes, like
the nail tech.
I'm going to be the nail tech for the entire peloton. Like, you broke a nail during the stage?
Yes.
I'm at your hotel fixing your nail.
We need more money in women's cycling for this.
They've done this in soccer, in the FIFA World Cup. They famously, the coach for the American team had a nail technician come and do everyone's nails if they wanted to, as a little treat to the team. And that would be really
amazing.
Cool if we saw that.
I'm going to be like the emergency one. Like I'm going to be like the medical staff in the car that's like leaning over and like wrapping.
Doing the nails.
I'm going to be doing a nail.
Oh my God, with the acrylic glue.
The men
I feel like
need a emergency dentist, it's with Sepp Kuss, and the
mhm,
women will need
mhm.
a emergency nail tech.
Emergency nail tech.
Yes.
I'm all over it. Well, I
Yes.
mean, I don't know if any of you have had like a gel nail or like an acrylic nail break, but it is the most irritating thing in the entire universe. And some of these women like have fabulous nails, and to break one of them would be just it would ruin the next 7 days of my racing if I were them.
Yeah.
I'd be out. That's actually why half the abandons happened. Just broke. No, that's not the case. That's sexist. It's okay when I say it.
Oh, should we jump into some of the questions of the day from the WhatsApp group? Today we got one. But
Absolutely.
before we jump into that one, I just want to piggyback on the question we had yesterday about the different roles in the teams. Because this morning I was watching the Spanish national champion who was sharing on Instagram how she prepares as a domestique to her team.
I sincerely hope that domestique prep involves like practicing the going back to the cars and putting on the musette bags and stuff, because watching that today, I was like, holy crap. Like, I know we see riders do it all the time, but when you actually start paying attention to what it takes to like put the bag over your head and get it around, and honestly, especially for women, because we're smaller, like we're shorter.
Yeah.
So that bag actually takes up a lot more space. You can't just sit up and have it kind of hanging, because if you do that, it's going to be like down in your frame. So I think it actually takes way more skill.
Yeah. So earlier this morning, I was looking at Instagram and I was watching this AG Insurance Sural rider, Mireia Benito, who's the Spanish road national champion. And she's has a very clear role as a domestique for her team. And she was just showing us how she prepares every morning before the stage, aside from all the other preparation that they have already done as a team. But she personally likes to just sit down in her bed and open the computer, look at VeloViewer. And for those who don't know, VeloViewer is this application, this website that cyclists can use to check out like the best views of the roads they're going to be riding that day. And she was going through how she like looks at the route. She's looking for the points where she knows that the race may slow down, may speed up, and know that at those points they need to make sure of where their leader is in the race, in the peloton, make sure that person is protected, and just reviewing the feed zones and just like really looking at all the little places where things could go, where things could be set up for an attack, or where they should expect an attack, or where things could go very wrong due to road furniture, white roads, wind exposure, etc. So that was fun to see that she also took it on to herself, not just having their DS telling them. Like she likes to zoom in and really have a really good look, so she knows she has the best information. Yeah.
Love it. Great.
And then the
Okay.
other question we got in the chat was asking, so realistically, what strategy can a team besides SD Worx employ to win a flat out sprint stage beside hoping that the break sticks? Who wants to take that one?
Exactly what Lidl-Trek did today. As I mentioned earlier, they sent someone up on the road while preparing their sprinter in the back. That is the perfect strategy. And yeah, with a sprinter like Lorena Wiebes, you just don't want to take her to the line. So anything you can do to get ahead of her, being starting the sprint earlier, being in a breakaway, just setting yourself up for success in that way. And as I mentioned, Lidl-Trek actually did it perfectly minus the execution at the end. And that'll be the challenge for the women's peloton and any race that ends in a sprint going forward, with Lorena being such a dominant sprinter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you.
yesterday we saw Demi Vollering actually try to do the like, I'm going to go early and see if I can get it. And it didn't play out, but you just got to keep trying.
Exactly. Well, the thing is, SD Worx, like anyone else, like yesterday, the SD Worx had to burn quite a few matches to get Lorena to a good position to sprint. They had to do it today even more so, which means that if there's another sprint stage, like say there was another one tomorrow, like they're going to have fewer and fewer matches to even get Lorena to the finish. So yeah, that can work in the benefit of a team that has a lot of strong riders left.
Just looking at the points jerseys right now, in the green jersey, Lorena Wiebes, 111 points. Second place, Elisa Balsamo, 30 points.
Damn.
Yeah.
So that might be locked up.
There's a lot left, though, and the points changed this year. So there's more points on offer than there were in previous years, with the finish counting significantly more than intermediate sprints. So we're only 2 stages in. There's a lot more coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of
So,
what's coming up,
yeah.
Rosael, walk us through what's happening tomorrow.
So let's talk about stage 3, which goes from Geneva to Poligny, and it's 157 kilometers long, and it's crossing France basically through the Jura Mountains. And it is a hilly and tough stage featuring somewhere between 24 to 2,500 meters of climbing. And it's again, like today's stage, it's even more front loaded than today's stage. Stage 3, almost of all the heavy climbing happens in the first half, but it ends then with a completely flat final 20 to 25 kilometers. And some of the key climbs and crucial points in the race are going to be the Col de la Faucille. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's a category 1 climb. It's 11 kilometers long at 6.3%. And yes, the longest and hardest climb of the race so far. Then we have the Côte de la Yew. It's a Cat 3 climb. It's just 3.6 kilometers long at 5.6%, and it immediately follows the previous climb. This is followed by Col de la Savine. It's a Cat 2 climb, and let's see if I can say that right, Col du Champagne. I botched that. It's Côte Champagne. It's a Cat 4 climb, so it's more like a mid-stage rollers to drain the legs after those 2 much harder climbs that came before. And then in the finale, the final 15 kilometers to Arbois are dead flat. There's the 2-kilometer run into Poligny, and it's super straight. Apparently, there's not a lot of turns in that finish. And so, yeah, it's going to be a high-speed drag race for the finish. Like, can a sprinter survive? I'm just not sure. I don't think so. It depends how the race is raced, but I think it will be raced pretty hard. And because I would think probably a breakaway is going to want to make it to the finish. Breakaway probably with some really good climbers in there. And then we may see the GC just posturing a little bit, right, in those climbs. Then some of my riders to watch for that stage are Celia Jury of FDJ Suez United, who's Demi Vollering's teammate. She put a good move yesterday, and as more of a climber, maybe we'll see pulling some stuff tomorrow. But also the course also looks like a classic riders course. So maybe we can see somebody like Liane Lippert of Movistar, or even like Zoe Baxted of Canyon Storam. If she can survive those climbs, maybe she can motor away in those last kilometers. Thoughts on that?
I think we're going to see the GCs for the first time tomorrow. The GC riders. I mean, we kind of saw them on stage 1, but I think we're going to see them a bit more tomorrow. It's climby, like, I think it's deceptively hilly, actually.
Yeah. But do you think they'll go hard if then on Tuesday they have the time trial? Maybe it's a good leg opener, right? Who knows? Like, for a big effort.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if you're not placed where you want to be in the GC, tomorrow might be a chance for you, to make up some time and get. I don't know. I think we're going to just see them a bit more because it is climby. We might see Ruler take the win overall in the end. We're going to maybe see the breakaway actually stick tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'd say, is a good day for the breakaway, like the early breakaway, to actually stick it to the finish. But yeah, that's what I expect. I expect to see more familiar faces and see people test their legs a little bit since it is going to be hilly.
I could actually see Kim LaCourte having a really good day because right now she's sitting second in the GC, and she wants to be wearing that yellow jersey for a day, right? Like, she got it last year. Obviously, she didn't hang on to it, but it was so exciting and such a big thing. So I could see her thinking, like, this might be my only chance to snag it and actually, like, get in it for a day.
I mean, I would like to see that, but I just find it hard to see it happen because it will activate then all of the GC riders because she's a little bit too high up. She's second place in the GC, but first place is a sprinter. But no, it does make sense that maybe she, after last year's experience, she's like, okay, I don't think I can win the whole thing, but a stage win in a stage like this one could really rock.
I don't think any of the GC people really think that she's going to take the whole thing. I mean, would I love to see it? Sure. But like, do I think that they'd be that nervous about giving her like a minute or two?
I was just going to say, if the gap is a minute or two, they'll let it happen. If she gets 10 minutes, that's when there'll be some action. But I think tomorrow will be a good stage for a breakaway. And I think people being the DSs, they will be talking to their riders and keeping a very close eye on those time gaps. And yeah, I think we might see some new faces tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, speaking of time gaps, the one thing I wanted to mention that we haven't talked about, but we talked about so much last year, like I think if you did the word thing, like where you pick out the words that we've said, the 2026 one, Frenzy Cock, came up a bajillion times. But I was just scanning the GC standings. She's already like 23 minutes down.
Yeah, she had a really bad day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
you meant 2025. Like
Sorry, yes, 2025. Do we think that she just maybe had a bad day and can come back? Because I would love to see her animating some of these attacks.
My
tomorrow.
theory is that she lost a bunch of time on purpose so that maybe on a stage like tomorrow, she can just go on the break and nobody bugs her about it. Let's say that she's having a rough time. Obviously, maybe this is not the case, but let's say she's just having a rough time. Let's say she wakes up tomorrow feeling amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if she then goes for the break, because then she's realizing, okay, so this is like one of my opportunities to win a stage and then continue supporting the team leader in the rest of the stages. But it depends how she wakes up.
I do not think this was on purpose. You don't lose time on purpose because it's too hard to make up. No, I think she may have had heat stroke or just had a rough day yesterday. I definitely don't think anyone is thinking that much of, strategic games like that. But I would like to see it. I would love to see her in a break, because she was such an entertainer last year. So on purpose or not, I would like to see Koch go back and spend some time in a break.
Yeah. Anybody else? Any other names you would like to see in the break?
I mean, I kind of want to see Paula Blassie just like go completely off script and just going for it.
Yeah, I just think, I don't think it's going to be a sprint, or maybe it's just a sprint from a very, very small group. But I think in those last kilometers, maybe somebody like a time trialist could go along for it. So maybe
a time trialist wouldn't, right? If there's a time trial the next day. You're not
true.
Blow your
that is true. Yes. Good point.
Because so an interesting thing we should know about tomorrow or the day afterwards with time trials. Like time trials are interesting in a Grand Tour because it is a bit of a rest day, a recovery day for those who are nowhere in the GC. Unless you're a time trial specialist or you're in the GC, you soft pedal a time trial because you're trying to conserve. So it's always an interesting stage to watch, because if you know you're going to have a rest day or recovery day the next day, you can go hard.
100%. All right, we should wrap up there. So that wraps up our coverage of Stage 2 here on the Queen Stage. Massive thank you to our presenting sponsors, Bike Tires Direct and SRAM. As always, their commitment to advancing women's cycling, we appreciate it so much, and it's just so cool to see brands like this actually putting their money where their mouth is.
Yes, and do not forget to join on today's giveaway. Again, we're giving away a musette full of goodies for every stage of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. So just go find on our Instagram account the post that is the highlight of the day, and it will have instructions on how to participate.
And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our recaps. And in the meantime, keep those questions coming on our WhatsApp chat. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you tomorrow for Stage 3.
So after wrapping up Stage 2, we caught up with the crew of Girl Pack, who just finished something incredible. 7 days, 800 kilometers, 50 women riding all the way from Munich to Lausanne for the grand depart of the Tour de France Femmes avec Zwift. We received a clip from our friends Laura and Amy, and here's what they had to say about their trip.
Okay. We made it 7 days. Tell me, what are we doing here with Girl Pack? Yeah, so we got all the way here from Munich to Lausanne in 7 days, 800 kilometers of riding and 10,000 meters of climbing.
50 women.
50 women. And yeah, the whole purpose was just to get more people to watch the Femmes. We started with events like this almost 10 years ago now, group rides and everything. We do everything to get more women together on bikes. And that's basically why we're here. We try to build something so people can meet each other first. I mean, 1 week ago we were all still in Munich being strangers, and now we're all friends. There were tears, we cheered for each other, we cried, we laughed, we did all of that, went through all the drama, the rain, the heat, there was everything. So, and now we are in a very, we just really bonded and have a really big connection. So,
And basically started, I think 4 years ago when we did the Arizona rally of Lael, like the Comte rally. And we met Lael, obviously, and all the other girls, and we immediately said we wanted to do that. We wanted to spread the world, like in Europe, do that, do our own rally. And 3 months ago we put it out there, and now we're here. With Lael even, she's even here.
And so inspiring. There's like everybody I met who wasn't on the rally was like, we're gonna come.
Oh yeah, there has to be one next year. I think we're not gonna not come out of this again. We have to do it.
And I love how you inspire women to be here and to be brave and to try it out.
Yeah, I think that was the most special to us, that a lot of those women even never have camped, never have bike-packed, maybe have been like strong riders before, but they just have been pushed so hard out of their comfort zone. We tried to make it as hard as possible. Because a lot of those girls, they wouldn't naturally meet each other in real life. They wouldn't be friends in real life. We have 50 women from completely different backgrounds. So we have also different ages. We have girls who are, the youngest rider is 19, the oldest rider is 54. We have a lot of girls from queer communities or from different countries, from the US, from Australia, from Lithuania. So all different backgrounds. Some of them were pure roadies. They've never done like a long gravel trip. Some of them never camped before. Some of them are really introverts. They usually would not ride with others or just ride with their partners. So we also wanted really to give them a space to get really, really out of their comfort zone. The route was super hard. We wanted to keep it that hard. So because then, even if you wouldn't be friends in real life together, you really bond over the experience of having to struggle together, really, push yourself out of your comfort zone, out of the limits, because then that's a bonding moment.
I think one of the most rewarding things was actually the feedback from many of the women that they feel safe, they felt safe. Because that's what actually we were aiming for. It was way out of their comfort zone, but they should feel safe at any time, They should know we got them, or basically everyone on the group got them, and I think it worked out fine.
And the way we chose our partners was pretty much also based on this. So working with Tram, for example, and having 2 female mechanics riding with us the whole week was amazing. The way they, cheered for us when we came here into the finish line was amazing. I think the biggest moment of the week was the big pass, like when they had to do a big climb, because everyone who came up the pass and we cheered for, we had a little cheer zone, and at the beginning it was just Ami and me.
We had a good try because we were alone for once.
So it was beautiful, like with the flags, and cheered up every rider. But then all riders stopped and waited for the next rider to come and the next rider to come.